But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Gato Stevie, baby.
Yo, what's going on, beloved? You know, it's your boy. I'm back. HO, man. Got those fucking TV. We here. What's up, baby?
Yo, HO, what's poppin', my brother? Good to hear you again. You're in good spirits. Your aura is gracious right now. Yo, in our last interview, we touched on a couple of topics, man. I want to follow up with you, and I really want to pick your brain because I know it's very easy to fuck up in prison. It's very easy to fuck up in the streets, but it's very easy to get caught up in prison as well. So, for a brother of your caliber, what be going on through your mind on a day-to-day basis, especially for a brother that's trying to come home and do the right thing? And not even just because you're trying to go home, just trying to do the right thing in general.
Well, I ain't gonna hold you. As time goes on, one would believe that change is the key to prosperity. Now, as simple as that may sound, it's very challenging, and in fact, it's just the foundation of what I like to, make my analogy of a skyscraper. Like, when I sit down and I think of changing from my old ways, beliefs, actions, views, of course, I would see a future of peace, genuine love, and success, because I'm just naturally optimistic. But I personally understand that if I really want to, build that skyscraper I speak of success, I must solely take on all the necessary strides of its manifestation, and I must believe that I'm truly destined to do so. But at the end of the day, every morning, like me, other prisoners, I wake up in misery, but I'm never miserable. It's a big difference. Sometimes I'm bitter, due to the circumstances of my current situation, the housing and all this other shit, but corrections, rehabilitation, discipline, those are three words widely associated with our penal system. But the lack thereof within those institutions are not because of its tenants, it's because of the landlords. The landlords are, the CEOs, the executive team, the superintendents, the wardens. So, therefore, from my first-hand experience, I estimate that roughly 17% of the inmate population do not seek rehabilitative programs, excluding those serving life without parole, because it's not what they want. It's not the type of success they strive for. The remaining percentage, 83%, are faced with and are placed in adverse situations at the hands of their landlords, correctional officers, mainly the security ranks, which makes it damn near impossible to embrace rehabilitation if that's what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying?
So you saying that the system is faulty?
The system is faulty. No funny shit, right? On paper, rules, regulations, policies, procedures, even a law. A reasonable person will believe that if one followed the guidelines of the penal system, he or she should return to society and change. So, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's
absolutely contrary though. When it's weird, but when a prisoner has to no longer fear of what another prisoner might do to harm him or her, and he or she has to be in fear, constant concern or worry of what staff would do there, that's a crucial problem. Because I've been in prison 7 years and 2 months to this day. I have ran these prisons, multiple prisons. I have indulged in miscellaneous activities, including but not limited to all things kind of productive, and that's normal when you're young and not humble. Then I started to become humble, and I started to realize that engaging in those acts, I'm doing exactly what the CEOs want me to do, and that's nothing positive.
Right.
When I started engaging in, positive activities and creating and establishing my blueprint for not returning to prison, I instantly became what I earned the title of correction enemy number 1.
Right. And you know what's funny that you touched on that topic, and you pointed out how faulty the system is in regards to rehabilitation. They keep putting us in prison to so-called rehabilitate us, right?
Yep.
But it actually makes us worse. I was actually in an ASAP program. and everybody was a fiend in that program.
Right.
Like, this is a program that's supposed to make you stop doing drugs, right? But being in prison, right? I'm outside of prison now, so I could talk about it. That's where all the drugs is in the ASAP program.
Yeah.
So now let's take the drugs out of the equation. The people who are involved in violent crimes
Right.
are put in these situations with these violent people. So it's like if you put a bunch of drug addicts in one room, they're all gonna get high.
Right.
You put a bunch of violent motherfuckers in a room, there's gonna be issues.
Right.
So, what do you think the answer is to that?
Alright, partially, but like if it was up to me to switch that whole program up, it'd be like this. First of all, for example, I get caught making a sale. I could get a 1.5 to 3 or a 2 to 4 year sentence.
Right.
Right? When I come to prison, I got a 6-month program, ASAT or RSAT, which is what you just spoke of.
Mm-hmm.
I shoot a motherfucker in the head, or stab a motherfucker up, or put some pain in and commit a violent crime. Let's say I get 10 years. The program that's mandatory for that is only 8 weeks. So how is it that the crimes that society really dubs as being like gruesome and it's hard to get over? You put me in a 8-week program, but the program that requires a lot of counseling and hands-on activities is 6 months. The officers in there do not want you to finish.
Right.
And the civilian staff, the little females that be running around in there, when you're admitted to ASAT in a prison, I don't give a fuck where you at, in the state of New York, when you're admitted, you are technically speaking a patient. There's no reason for the extracurricular activity. You're supposed to be in there, work on your addiction target that 60 beds, 30 people probably in there for drug-related offenses. Everybody else is just sitting there because it's federally funded and nobody really cares.
Right.
So you can do 6 months ASAT and not learn nothing. You can go to the streets and go to a rehabilitation program for 2 months and actually get what you're looking for if you're really, trying to get into that.
Yo, you probably won't like that I mentioned this, but fuck it. You're my brother. And I'm with snitching on police, crooked cops. That's against our people.
Right.
There was an officer named Natali who placed drugs in your cube while we was in a dorm together, and you was lucky enough to find it and get rid of it.
Right.
That was crazy. Like, I've never experienced the wickedness like that. Time is running short. I just want your thoughts on that. Like, just look back on that time, like how you was feeling at that time. Because I know it's a hopeless feeling when you're doing the right thing and then they trying to set you up.
I'm going to be honest with you. Like, initially, I was around good brothers like yourself and, not too many others. Maybe you and Loopy. But
Right.
at the same token, when I discovered that shit and I found it, it was more empowering. It was empowering for 2 reasons. One, because you can't think like me, but I can think like you. And 2, you honestly just put some money in my pocket. But it's just sad that
You have 1 minute left.
So you would want to get me out of there for unknown reasons, just nothing other than you just being a flat-faced bozo.
Right. That's
Yo,
wicked.
man, they about to knock us off, man. Yo, man. Shout out to all the fans, everybody that's listening. Yo, my brother, I appreciate you, man. Love you, man.
I love you more.
Yo.
You know that shit.
Moving to Got Those TV next week, man. We on this joint again, yo.
We gonna flood this shit, you heard?